Our story, Overlord, is a visceral, unrelenting fusion of the brutal realities of World War II and a terrifying descent into the supernatural. It plunges us directly into the heart of the action on the eve of the day, June 5th. Wide-eyed recruit whose compassionate nature stands in stark contrast to the grim purpose of their mission. He's alongside Corporal Ford, the embodiment of the hardened, no-nonsense combat leader, whose pragmatic demeanor masks a deep sense of responsibility for his men. This isn't just a village. It's a place steeped in an eerie quiet, a place where the pervasive presence of Nazi occupation has crushed all signs of life. A Nazi patrol, led by the chillingly sadistic SS Hoopsturmverwaffner, unexpectedly arrives at Chloe's house, a brutal reminder of the constant, immediate danger they are in. Hidden in a crawl space, Boyce witnesses a horrifying scene. Nazis systematically burning disfigured villagers in a grim pyre. Quickly realizes the terrifying implications as he examines the serum and hears the full, horrifying account. Waffner, ever the opportunist, attempts a daring escape, drawing Nazi attention. Meanwhile, Ford, despite his grievous wounds, accompanies Boyce and Chloe as they infiltrate the underground base through the grimy sewers, having injected himself with a large dose of the serum to heal his wounds and gain power, escaping just as the church and the entire underground facility collapse in a massive, earth-shattering explosion, burying Ford Waffner and all the mutated test subjects beneath tons of rubble. Boyce emerges from the wreckage, meeting up with the surviving members of his squad, who look at him with a mix of awe and trepidation. In his official report, Boyce makes a critical decision. He credits Ford with the final, heroic act of detonating the lab, ensuring the terrifying secret of the Nazi experiments dies with them, preventing its use by any power. The film concludes with the news confirming the overwhelming success of the D-Day invasion. The world saved from a different kind of horror. Boyce, though forever changed by the unimaginable horrors he witnessed and the sacrifices he endured, continues his service. No longer a green recruit, but a truly hardened soldier, carrying the profound burden of what lies beneath the surface of war. Waffner now possesses superhuman strength, grotesque regeneration, and a terrifying, unholy appearance. He easily overpowers Ford, impaling him on a gruesome meat hook. As he gloats, Waffner reveals the deeper, more disturbing truth. The serum distills the very essence of the black tar that has run beneath the village for centuries. An ancient, unnatural source of life and power that the Nazis merely tapped into. As Boyce desperately distracts a seemingly invincible Waffner Ford, in a final, agonizing act of self-preservation and profound sacrifice, rips himself from the meat hook and, with incredible willpower, injects himself with the remaining serum. His wounds instantly heal, and his muscles surge with superhuman strength, but his skin begins to crack and morph. He holds off the now truly grotesque abomination of Waffner, buying precious seconds, long enough for Boyce to spot and shoot a vital oxygen tank nearby. The ensuing explosion sends Waffner plummeting into a pit of the black tar, where he begins to mutate into an even more horrifying, primordial form, trapped in an endless, agonizing transformation. Ford, now a mutated super soldier himself, his humanity rapidly eroding, orders Boyce to leave him behind and detonate the explosives, believing that neither side should ever possess such a dangerous, unholy power. Boyce and Ford work feverishly to plant the explosives, targeting both the radio tower above and the entire Nazi lab below. Chloe, meanwhile, searches frantically for her younger brother Paul, sending him back to the village after a terrifying encounter where she is cornered by a mutated test subject, forcing her to kill it herself, further hardening her, fatally shoot and chase in the process. Witnessing the sudden, senseless death of his friend and having seen the serum's power, Boyce makes a desperate, impulsive decision over Ford's objections. He injects the dead Chase with the serum, hoping to revive him. Chase is resurrected, but the reanimation is... He quickly mutates into a violent, uncontrollable monster, forcing boys to brutally bludgeon his friend to death in a gut-wrenching moment. A Nazi patrol, alerted by the commotion, arrives, leading to a fierce shootout where Ford is severely wounded, his arm almost torn off. In a moment of pure animalistic rage and a desperate attempt to save his remaining men, Ford brings his bloody hand down on Waffner's face, blowing off half of it, leaving him a grotesquely surviving mess. The team now understands they are not just fighting soldiers, but a dark, unholy science. They interrogate the captured Waffner, who, despite his partial disfigurement during their escape, remains chillingly defiant. He refuses to reveal the serum's secrets even under extreme torture, showcasing his fanatical loyalty to the Nazi cause and his monstrous resolve, their faces contorted in agony. This ghastly sight, combined with Chloe's whispered warnings, ignites a desperate need for answers within Boreas, driven by a mix of compassion, curiosity, and an escalating sense of dread. He makes an impulsive decision. He sneaks onto a truck carrying what appear to be dead bodies, a gruesome cargo that leads him directly into a hidden underground base situated beneath the very church where the radio tower stands. Here, they encounter Chloe, a courageous and defiant young Frenchwoman. This is not just a strategic military bunker. It's a grotesque, sprawling laboratory where the Germans are performing unspeakable, macabre experiments on captured villagers, their bodies twisted and broken, using a mysterious, black, tar-like substance that oozes from the earth, and a glowing alchemical serum derived from it. They are attempting to create immortal, invincible super soldiers for Hitler's 1,000-year Reich. Boys watches in silent terror as a dead man is inexplicably resurrected, his body mutating into a terrifying, monstrous form. In a desperate act of defiance and a bid for survival, he manages to steal a syringe containing the powerful, glowing serum. He also discovers and rescues a captured, brutally tortured comrade, Rosenfeld, before they narrowly escape the nightmarish facility through its grimy, corpse-filled sewers, carrying the shocking, world-altering secret back to Ford. She lives in a dilapidated house with her frail younger brother Paul and their disfigured aunt, a haunting figure whose very presence hints at untold local horrors. Chloe, initially wary and distrustful of the foreign soldiers, reluctantly offers them refuge in her home, a precarious, temporary safe haven from the omnipresent Nazi patrols who stalk the moonlit streets. It's through Chloe that the soldiers begin to hear chilling, unsettling rumors about strange, horrific experiments being conducted by the Nazis, whispered tales of local villagers disappearing in grotesque sites within the confines of the old church. Completing the core unit are the wisecracking, jaded PVT, whose humor is a shield against fear, and the more quiet, observant PVT chase. Their mission is critical to the success of the Normandy landings. To parachute behind enemy lines into a small Nazi-occupied French village and destroy a German radio jamming tower. This tower, situated ominously within the spire of an old church, is a vital strategic target, as its continued operation would prevent Allied forces from providing essential air support to the beach landings, potentially dooming the invasion. 1944. The setting is deceptively mundane, yet fraught with immense historical weight. The roar of anti-aircraft fire fills the night sky, and their transport plane is hit, exploding in midair. The scene is a horrific ballet of fire, metal, and fallen, scattering the paratroopers across the dark, enemy-infested countryside like discarded toys. Many perish instantly in the fiery descent, engulfed in flames or torn apart by shrapnel. Others hit the ground only to be swiftly gunned down by waiting Nazi patrols, their desperate cries silenced by rifle fire. Only a handful of the original contingent, including Boreas, Ford, Tibbet, and Chase, managed to survive the inferno and miraculously regroup, their survival already a grim testament to their luck. as we follow a small, ill-fated group of American paratroopers tasked with a seemingly conventional military objective that quickly spirals into a nightmare. Our initial point of view is Private First Class Boyce Green, a descent into hell. The drop and the village. Their perilous infiltration begins with a chaotic and brutal aerial insertion. Lost, disoriented, and hunted, they stumble upon the very village housing, their target, unearthing the unspeakable, the lab beneath the church. As Tibbet and Chase venture out to scout a rendezvous point, the fragile sense of security shatters. What Boyce discovers within this subterranean labyrinth is a nightmare, far beyond the conventional horrors of war. Desperation, betrayal, and monstrous transformations. Ford, initially skeptical and dismissive of Boyce's fantastical claims as they prepared to launch their final desperate assault on the church and its secrets, splitting their forces. Rosenfeld and Tibbet launch a diversionary frontal assault on the church, the final sacrifice, and a new dawn. The climax brings Ford face to face with a mutated, monstrous Boyce, with a heavy heart and a weight of immense loss, complies.
Text prompting viewers to comment and subscribe. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more updates on this developing story.